your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell out before you blow up a plane.
Basha K. Ali!
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what good thing to say I dabbled in stand-up or something. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Hello! Welcome to the Chrissie Mayr podcast. I am your host with me, Chrissie Mayr. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, just get out. Get out of here right now. And don't come back till you've subscribed. You can listen to this podcast anywhere. Spotify, SoundCloud, Rumble, Rockfin, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook even. Sometimes Facebook removes my show and they'll say it's hate speech, but they won't give a reason why. Oh, Facebook, you're only good for two things: seeing how fat people from high school have become and buying and selling used furniture. Anyway, I have a bunch of shows coming up. Come see me do stand-up. Yes. Remember stand-up? Remember laughing, people? Come see me. Boop, boop, boop. I'll be in Long Island in August at the Brokerage Comedy Club in Belmore, August 8th and 9th. Plano, Texas, September 18th. Massillon, Ohio, Saturday, October 18th. San Diego, October 23rd. And Phoenix, Arizona, November 1st. Ooh, for tickets, go to chrissiemayr.com. Get the tickets now. Don't just sit on your hands for a few months and then you go, oh, right, that show's coming up. And then guess what? It'll be sold out and you'll be SOL. And I will think back to this moment. You'll think back to this moment. You'll be like, wow, remember in the middle of June when she was telling us to get tickets? I should have listened. Well, do future you a favor and just buy those tickets now if you live in any of these places. And as always, if you have a cool venue by you that I can come perform at, that would have me, tweet at them, tag me. I'm always looking for cool new places to perform at. Please and thank you. Okay, today's guest. Oh my gosh, he's a triple threat. He's smart. He's handsome. He's on InfoWars. He's a dad, a quadruple threat. He's the host of American Journal on InfoWars. You can watch him live Monday through Friday, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time. Oh, his bio says just a fun-loving guy with no enemies. Yeah, right. Welcome to the show. Put your hands together for Mr. Harrison Smith.
Thank you.
Oh, shit. I just kicked him out.
That was fun. Okay.
Oh, boy. I'm getting the hang of this, aren't I? I slapped the keyboard and kicked you out.
That's all right. And if you hear a banging from my end, it's because my little barbarians are trying to break in, and that's what's happening.
Gosh. But they'll never be as funny as that clip of the guy from CNN where you see behind him, like the little kids are coming in and like stomping like this.
It would be like that if I didn't have appropriate locks on my doors. We would be experiencing something very similar to that.
And then, yeah, one's in the little like seat on wheels thing. And then one is just like stomping in. And then the wife's like, like pulls them by their necks. Oh,
extremely relatable situation.
We were talking before the show about being parents. I just have one. I'm only a little bit experienced in this, but you have 3.
I do.
Wow.
And I bet you think one is exhausting and difficult, don't you?
I do. But from everything I've read, people say, well, it's the hardest to go from 0 to 1, but then when you go from 1 to 2, it's easier because you already have.
Do they say that?
They
Is
have
that what they say?
habits, and they have said it.
It's
Yeah.
Hold on. This is what it's like with three of them. Can you give me just
Yes,
5
yes.
seconds? I'm so sorry.
Watch us. He's going to hear him say the N-word at his own kids. Wow, look at his cool chair. Look at the swords in the background. I didn't really have him pegged as a sword guy.
We'll see how that goes. We'll see if that works. I apologize.
What did you yell at them to get them to stop?
I whispered. I said, I told you I can't do this right now.
Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. He's playing some sort of Paw Patrol game and is stuck. But we'll handle it. It's all right. Life is just a series of minor crises. That's
How much TV do you let your kids watch?
Almost none, practically none.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Even though, I
Wow.
mean, it is magic. Let's be honest. Screens are magic, and there have been times where, like, my son was freaking out. He's having some nightmare or something, wakes up in the middle of the night and is like screaming for like an hour. We're trying to calm him down. And the moment we picked up the phone and showed him the screen, it was just like, shh, and he just
everything melted. All the problems go away.
It helps a lot. But no, we do a movie dinner night on Sundays, and that is about it.
Oh, do they get to pick the dinner or the movie?
Yeah. Usually, my son is kind of semi-obsessed with Avatar right now. So,
Oh, okay. Wait, the movies with the
cartoon.
creatures or the Airbender show?
The Airbender show.
Okay. Ugh.
Which is great. The Airbender show is a
Oh, right, because you're a
show.
nerd too. Look at the swords.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the swords. But
wow. How do you have time to have 3?
It's not easy. I'll tell you that. It's definitely harder than one.
Oh.
He's literally wailing at the door.
Oh my God. How old is the one that's screaming? Let him, he can be on.
4.
Oh, 4. That's the cutest age.
Well, at times it can be very cute.
Oh my goodness. Wow. The chat is saying bring him in. I don't know. Some people may or may not want their kids on a stream, but
yeah, I try to keep my kids as not online as I possibly can. I typically only upload pictures where you can see like the back of their heads.
Yeah,
it just seems weird to me.
I thought about doing that, but you know, you guys are on InfoWars. You're so friggin' targeted. It makes sense that you would be extra protective. I mean, it's just horrible. What happened? God, I can't believe it's been almost like 3 months now since Jamie White. Did you guys ever, not to bring the tone completely down, but did you guys ever, did they ever find out like who did it or what happened there?
Yes, yeah, they actually tracked these guys down. They were a couple of them were kids, like under 17, so we don't even know, anything about them. But yeah, they found like I think 4 people that were just going around stealing cars and killing people. And
it was random. It was not even targeted.
It was random. It was the car he had basically. But Kia is, one of these cars that's like really easy to steal apparently. So
you would think a Kia is like not a flashy car. It's affordable. You would think that you would be specifically not a target in a Kia.
You would think, but there's some crazy people out there. So yeah, it's pretty tragic. But yeah, anytime I have tried to put pictures of my kids, the creepy comments, even people trying not to, like people will comment going, you don't put a picture of your daughter. There are creeps on here. And it's like, that's the creepiest thing you could have said.
Yeah. Why are you thinking like a creep? Yeah.
It's so weird, dude. So I put like one picture of my daughter up when she was like 1 year old in a little Christmas costume. And somebody said something weird. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not putting my kids up anymore, which is a shame because honestly, if I monetize these kids, you should see, I mean,
they're so cute, probably. Oh.
They're so freaking cute, but that's for me, not for you. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah. I thought at first because I don't know, I'm in a bunch of moms group. I follow a lot of moms. A lot of people post. What I don't understand is the people that post family photos, but then put emojis over all the kids' faces. And it's like, well, then why post a photo? What is the point?
Yeah. I think that's obnoxious. That's obnoxious.
It's like, oh, look, we did a thing, but then don't post. Just have a private Instagram, have a private whatever Dropbox and be done with it. But at first I was like, because the baby's 14 months old, and I was like, do I want to do that? Do I want to be a person who emojis on the faces and or doesn't post at all? And then I was talking to Frank about it. He was like, no, what are they? He was like, what are they gonna do? Well, we're always with him. He's not in daycare. He's not gonna be like stolen. Like he's never alone. So I don't know. And maybe it's because he's like a year now, and his looks will probably change in a few years. Well, yeah, I'm sure he'll become older looking.
Oh yeah,
But-
one hopes. But yeah, it's I don't know. For me, it's just like there's just too many weirdos, and InfoWars is too big of a target. So
yeah.
I'd just rather not.
Yeah, especially if
Not
you
let
have
them know.
girls. No, yeah, that's probably the way to go. Did you always want to be a journalist? Like, were your parents oriented that way? Did they care about news? Did they kind of instill with you an importance on all that?
A little bit. I mean, I definitely do not remember ever driving in my dad's car when Rush Limbaugh was not on the radio. So yeah, my dad is pretty political. My mom is just conservative by nature. So I was definitely raised up in a conservative mindset, to the extent that I did not know that people liked Bill Clinton when I was growing up. Like, I just thought that the president
They
was a
loved
guy.
him.
Apparently people loved him. I grew up in a world where Bill Clinton was just this guy who like everybody hated and was like a total sleazebag liar. But he was just president for some reason. And it wasn't until I was, like 12 or something, somebody was like, yeah, I love Bill Clinton. And it was like, you what? So I definitely was, very political environment growing up. But no, my mom's a teacher. My dad owns a small, telecommunications business in Houston. And I basically got the job at InfoWars kind of by accident. I responded to a Craigslist ad for a videographer.
Craigslist, how retro.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was completely random. And it's the first job I've had. So for about 10 years after school, I just did freelance video production and made skits and music videos and all that sort of stuff. And then I decided one day I had to get a job. And the first job I happened to find on Craigslist was for it was subtle. They were like, we are a nationally syndicated radio station located in this area of town. And I happened to be friends with somebody who worked right next door to the InfoWars office. So I knew where the office was and saw the Craigslist ad and was like, I think this is InfoWars. I'm going to apply.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I worked for about 2 years behind camera editor and cameraman, and just happened to be the guy on the bench when the former morning show host was let go. And so I was put in temporarily, we'll just until we find a real host. And that was about 5 years ago. So
So imagine tomorrow they're like, well, we found the real host.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
We got him. Yeah, no, it's so yeah, it was sort of an accident. I sort of ended up where I am and here on this show by just a series of coincidences.
Very cool. Is that the process for most of the InfoWars employees? Because I would imagine you have to be seriously vetted for a minute before you get hired there. I feel like there's just, if I were the hiring manager at InfoWars, like I would be a nervous wreck. I would just be Googling people.
Yeah, it's we get a lot of weirdos, but they don't last very long. I mean, InfoWars, the talent at InfoWars is like mind blowing, and the quality of the people that I work with, like my crew and stuff, it's unbelievable that we have so many great people. And I mean, some of it is because we're like under attack so much that there's sort of a bunker mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But also, things are just crazy. So you just know how to roll with the punches, and the people that can handle it and the people that can stick around are just like top notch, best in the business. Our graphics are incredible. My director, Dan, who switches the show for me, I mean, that dude never misses a beat. It's like,
wow,
crazy. But here's a little tip. Anybody wants to get a job at InfoWars, don't apply. Don't try to get a job at InfoWars. Don't come. Don't
just show up.
The last thing you should do is show up at the, if you want to never work at InfoWars and you want your picture on the wall as a,
there's a wall of shame there. I haven't seen anything.
No.
I'm sure they keep a.
No, but we do have pretty heavy security, and anybody that shows up at the office, that's a bad idea. It's a terrible idea. You sort of have to know somebody or apply to a random Craigslist ad and happen to, hit the jackpot.
It's true. Every time I've been to InfoWars, I'm always amazed with it's such a, or maybe just happened to be every time I was there, but small crew, but every person is doing like 15 different things.
Yeah. No, it's they really are incredible. Like I can't express how good those guys are, especially since, you know, they don't get any of the kudos. They don't get to, you know, see themselves on TV, but they work harder than I do most of the time.
But with that, it comes less of the risks of being a face of InfoWars.
You know, I suppose it really hasn't been bad. I mean, there's been some things, but overall, I mean, I get a lot more love than I get hate. So
that's good.
It's been all good for me.
Do you get recognized a lot in like out and about?
Not a lot. In certain circumstances, I am a star. At certain
like
protests,
what? Oh yeah,
at InfoWars events, people recognize me for sure all the time. Yeah, no, every once in a while, I get recognized. You can always tell, right? You always like get the look, like somebody's looking at you, and you're like, all right, they either love me or hate me, but they recognize me somehow, or maybe I'm just paranoid. But yeah, I don't really get recognized all that often, to be honest.
I got recognized on my way to the Dunkin' Donuts, like nice. Pretty, and it was a younger kid. It was somebody in their 20s, and I was like, "What?" And
That's
he's like,
cool.
"Oh, hey," he's like, "Oh, you called me up on stage at one of your shows," and I was like, that could be any of them." And I'm always so shocked and surprised, and then my second reaction is like, "Oh, fuck, I have no makeup on, like I'm unbrushed." I'm like, please don't report back to anybody my real face. It's just,
you know, I really love it. I love getting recognized, especially since like my audience is just like parents. Like I get a lot of, and it's funny. Sometimes I'll be in a place for a long time, and it's not till like I'm leaving that somebody will come up and like very quietly be like, "Hey, I listen to your show every day. You know, thanks for what you do." And it's like very quiet. It's always very like
that's definitely a dude, but like showing respect. Like, "Hey, what's up, bro?"
Yeah. And they don't want to bother you and don't want to, you know, take a big picture or anything, but you know, just want to shake your hand. I love that.
That is cool. I'm not going to be an FAG and take a picture and fawn all over you. Derek C. Oh my gosh, with the 5. Thanks, Derek. We wanted the Epstein files and no more wars. We got another war and no Epstein files. Well,
yeah, I wonder if those are related. I'm just saying.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, just from my limited reading, it seems like they can't unveil all the Epstein stuff because that would implicate maybe people who shouldn't be implicated, who we need for things, or maybe that's the carrot we have to dangle to get what we want. I don't know.
Yeah, if it was Trump that was using the Epstein blackmail files to get his way, and that's why it wasn't being released, that would be pretty interesting. No, I mean, you know, this whole administration was like the first few days were freaking awesome. The first few days,
first 100, he got so much done.
I mean, he was pardoning the J6ers. He's shutting the border. It was like, this is it. We're doing it. We're off on the right track. And then just like ever since then, we peaked around day like 50, in my opinion. And ever since then, it's been like this degradation to where now I don't even know what we're doing anymore. I don't get it. I'm so confused and baffled at how. So I do a show on InfoWars. I wish I could have done it in the 90s. I wish I could have done it when there were like hidden conspiracies.
Why? Because your glasses would have actually been stylish.
Hey, these are coming back. You just wait. You're gonna see more and more people with these glasses. I didn't say the 80s. I said the 90s. In the 90s, in the 90s, you actually had to figure things out. Yeah, there were conspiracies that were hidden that you could like research and identify, and you could like go to Waco and like find out what really happened. And now I do my show, and I'm just like, yeah, we shouldn't go to war in the Middle East. I can't even believe I'm having to say this. Like everything is just so obvious now. It's like, do I even really need to be here? It's like, men are men,
you do.
Women are women. We shouldn't go to war in the Middle East. The sky is blue. Like, really, are we really at that level where we have to explain the obvious so often? It's very frustrating.
It probably is frustrating too, because you know so much, and it's so much a part of your day to day, and it's you know it backwards and forwards. You've always kept up with it, but I feel like the average person is not. I mean, you have to fight with all different amounts of propaganda, what people are reading, listening to, plus their jobs and family lives take up most of their day anyway. So it's kind of like we really do need people like you to kind of like break it down. And then there's folks who think like, well, I thought Israel was good, and well, we got a lot of Jews in this country, so I don't know. Don't we want to keep them happy? That voice was just me. That was just my understanding of it. So I don't know. What you do is very important, but I can see how it probably is frustrating because it seems like just common sense.
Yeah, a lot of it is very common sense, and I try to do my show. I don't know how successful I am, but I try to always do my show as if I'm talking to normies, basically, to put it politely. Basically, I basically do it pretending that I'm talking to my parents-in-law, to my mother-in-law and my father-in-law.
Ooh, that's like, good because you want to be respectful.
Yeah, and you don't want to say things that are gonna make them go, "Oh, geez, what's Harrison saying now?" Right? But you want to kind of lay the groundwork. You can't assume that they know. But basically, like talking to somebody that, and I hope that you could watch my show is just a normal person that, you know, is just a nice person and maybe generally conservative in your outlook, but you can tune in and not be, you know, freaked out by everything that I'm talking about, even though it's all freaky and horrible. So there is that. There's that too.
Hold on, I meant to bring this up earlier. This is the moment I would like to reenact with Harrison and his kids.
Yeah,
exactly. And this is the whole reason why I want to have another one.
How do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in. I mean, shifting sands in the region. Do you think relations?
You almost clotheslined her. I just saw that.
I love it.
We're playing it. She comes in so confident.
Happen all the time. The question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will
she comes in all the time like that.
That's so funny.
Is she holding two spoons?
What does it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in. I mean, shifting sands in the region. Do you think relations with the North may change?
There's nothing you could do because you're supposed to be on camera unless you get up and leave like I did.
How does he not laugh? Like how? Like come on. You've lost. At this point, the second one comes barreling in. How? I don't know. It's on wheels.
He's like, guys, I'm home 24 hours a day. There's 4 minutes that I'll be on national television for these 4 minutes, and I not be left alone.
Oh, right. This had to have been during COVID.
Right.
Like, Daddy's here is enough to just find a shirt and tie without food stains on them.
You know, it's so funny. At one point, I said something to my son about enemies. I think I was explaining about like being swatted, and I was going, well, you know, Daddy kind of has, you know, has enemies kind of thing. So now anytime I'm like, hey, I got to go do a call, I got to do a business thing. He's like, is it your enemies? Do we need to fight them?
Oh my gosh.
He'll give me advice. I go, yeah, I'm debating a guy. And he's like, what you should do is kick him in the shin. Like, I'll think about that. I'll do that. Thank you, buddy.
I have to rewind this just one more time.
North may change.
I would be surprised if they do.
That's the best part. The mom.
The best part was for like a day. People were like, "Oh, the nanny." The nanny comes in, and then people were like, "Ooh, that's the wife." Uh-oh.
That's so funny.
And then everyone was, "Oh my god, this is so good." I too have watched. My producer's like, "I've watched this a million times." I'm like,
she's
so
good. She's
I.
fast.
Pardon me.
What?
My apologies.
There, he finally laughs. He's like,
That's so funny.
Lost control.
Yeah, that, you know,
scandals happen all the time.
That sums up being a parent. Totally. It's resignation. It's just going, you know what? I have no control over this. This is just the way it is. I gotta roll
Get
with
the
it.
fuck out. Oh, it's so good. I missed that. That should be.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's when people were still kind of figuring out the whole remote lifestyle. Hadn't quite tweaked it yet. Hadn't quite tuned it in. They didn't learn yet that you've never put the room to the door behind the camera. That's always where the camera can see it. It's got to be behind the camera.
That's an X factor, having a door behind you.
That's It's a vector of disruption.
Oh, it's so cute. The only thing that could have made that better would be like if a dog had come in after the baby on wheels. Wow. So how many times have you been swatted?
I have not talked about that really publicly at all.
Oh, okay. Whoops. Because you mentioned it, and I've been swatted twice, and I only asked that because it's like, how do you explain that? Like, if that, like, hopefully won't happen again, but it's like, how would I explain that to a kid? I actually did. Actually, no, never mind. I did have to explain it to my stepson. I was like, well, people don't like who you have on the show, and they call the cops on you, basically, and it could be a very dangerous situation. And I'm sure he didn't get it and was confused.
You weren't like, I'm an international criminal. They almost got me that time, but next time.
Yeah, it's I'm sure it's weird to have me as a stepmom. God, it'll be even weirder to have me as a mom. Oh, yeah, like I took the baby to swimming lesson today, and one of the other moms was like, "Oh, Frankie's mom is giving you a toy," and I was like, "Oh shit, that's me."
Like, you're being identified.
Like,
as
I was like, "That's me. I'm a mom. I'm somebody's mom." Holy shit.
Yeah, even after having 3, it's still fucking weird. It's still weird to be like every once in a while, my wife and I look at each other like we're parents of 3 children. Like it's wild. It's definitely worth it. It's very rewarding. It's just hard as hell.
What do you think is the hardest part so far?
Geez. Well, for my kids in particular, the hardest part is seeing your kids have your attributes if your attributes are not easy to maintain. Like, my son, very hard-headed, very, wants it his way and thinks he's in charge. And part of me is like, dude, we can't have like a 20-minute battle every time you have to brush your teeth. Like, you got to brush your teeth every single night. For 4 years, every night, or 3 years, every night we've done this, and every night he fights like it is, like he's being thrown to the lions or something. And it's part of me is like, just do what you're told. Damn it! You do this every night. Stop resisting. The other part of me is like, fight the power, dude. Never give up. Keep fighting.
Showing him pictures of like British people and be like, look, this is what you're gonna look like if you don't keep up these healthy habits, bro.
That does help, actually. Getting him to eat, telling him he's going to look like Superman.
Same thing. Just keep showing him pictures of British people. Be like, this is what's going to happen to you.
What it will look like
if you don't eat them broccolis.
Yeah. So for me, the hardest part is having kids that like, and it's hilarious because now my mom will come over and my son will be doing something crazy and I'm like, oh my God. And I look over and mom's just like smiling like, yep. Oh. Now you see what it's like. She's like reveling in the fact she's like, this is what you were like when you were a kid. This is what I keep trying to explain to you. And I'm like, what do I do?
That's really cool. I wish my mom was still alive so she could rub that in my face and be like, look.
Oh man. Yeah. I don't know how you do it without grandparents there to help.
My husband's parents are still alive, thank God. Very much still alive and great and young and very helpful and awesome. But I do like. I wish I had somebody to ask about what it was like when I was little, or like when my mom was pregnant, or any of that stuff.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Whenever my wife has asked me about what to do with my son, I'm like, you gotta just ask my mom. Like, she went through all of this before us. So, and I mean, it really is amazing. I mean, kids have these personalities from the moment they're born, and you can just see so clearly like which aspects of your personality made it in, which aspects of your wife's personality made it in, and it's just awesome. It's like, completely revelatory. Like, it's a revelation, and again, if you're a parent, so you don't have to be told it, and if you're not a parent, you will not be able to understand it. So I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what attributes are mine and which are Frank's. He's only a year, but
your daughter's only a daughter, right?
I have a
pretty young, right?
son. Yeah.
Oh, you have a son.
But you know what?
Only a year.
He eats so much. So that's obviously from his dad. He could eat. He eats like as much as an adult.
That's
He poops like
nice.
an adult amount of poop.
Okay, that's not nice. All right, that's a downside, but it's better to have a kid that eats too much than eats too little, in my opinion.
The doctor was like, well, he's 12 months now, so he's going to start getting real picky, and maybe you only have him eat one meal a day. And I'm like, I'm still waiting for that picky eater to show up. He likes so many. He'll eat a little bit of like everything. He likes a buffet. He'll actually just like wait around, and he'll like be like, what else is coming? Like, what other courses?
See, that's amazing. We have the opposite problem where like literally all dinner, it's like eat, take a bite, chew. You got to eat your food. Just please eat your food for the love of God. So the hardest thing about having kids is the same battles over and over, day after day. That gets a little tiring.
But it's teaching you patience, and
you can't beat them. So what else are you gonna do?
No, that's what's different about how we were raised. Faux show. Pat D for 5. What's up? Look at that fun-loving photo. What does Harrison do to get his mind off of all the news reporting? Also, please, more skits.
I've been thinking about more skits. Things are moving so quickly. I don't have time to make the skits anymore because by the time I'd make them, the news would be old already. Like I was going to do one about the riots in LA. It's like when nobody even cares about that anymore. So good thing I didn't waste my time doing that. What do I do to get my mind off all the news reporting? It never really is, to be honest with you. But I do. I try to overwhelm my own senses. That's what I like doing. I like watching something on TV while I play something on, a video game while something else is happening. You just retreat into fantasy for at least an hour a day to get your mind off everything. Because it is, you
saturate your senses.
Yeah. Basically just like bombard your senses with stuff that means you're not able to focus on anything else. Because it can be pretty, depressing and or like addictive. Like today, I'm just scrolling Twitter constantly because of what's going on in Iran. I'm just like, when's the big bomb going to go off? When's Trump going to make an announcement? And I'm just like, thinking about it constantly. But you got to be able to disconnect. I mean, that's what my weekends are for. When I do yard work and I listen to comedy podcasts and I just turn my brain off for the weekend. And I would not be able to survive if I didn't do that.
Do you have a bird bath?
Do I have a bird bath? No, I don't think so. No.
Do you have any kind of bird feeders in your yard?
I do. We do have a bird feeder, but even better than that, we have a hawk that lives in our backyard. He lives in a tree sort of in our backyard. And so actually just last week, I got my daughter a little bird feeder craft. So she built a bird feeder. And now the squirrels are eating the bird seed and the hawk is eating the squirrels. So it's still a bird feeder. It just feeds one particular bird.
Wow. You're like, look, honey, the circle of life. It's beautiful. The last apartment we lived in. Yeah, I had a bird feeder on the fire escape, and it quickly became a squirrel feeder. Like he would get his chunky ass just stuck in there so many times, and then I'd like tap on the window and it'd be like, fuck, and then but then after a while he was just unfazed by my knocking on the window. He was like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yeah, he knew you were full of it. A hawk, damn. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I live there's like a park sort of by my house, and there's like a couple hawks and an owl, and they're always battling each other. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but crows will gang up on hawks, and it's like the coolest thing. A murder of crows? A murder of crows. Grackles in Austin. But yeah, they're like a military troop. Like they move in, they all like move in coordination, and they like scare the hawk away. I love it. I love going outside and watching the war that's going on above our heads. Bird Wars. This clip has been going around. Speaking of Epstein, this clip's been going around. Exclusive Virginia Giuffre's Dead Man Switch released. What? What's this?
If you're watching this, it means they got me. My Dead Man Switch activated automatically after I missed 2 scheduled check-ins. I had it set up months ago because I knew this day was coming. I did not die by accident. I was murdered to keep their secrets buried. My name is Virginia Louise Giuffre. I was one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. I survived Little St. James, but survival came at a price. I saw too much, knew too much, and now they've silenced me. But it's too late for them. They thought killing me would bury their secrets, but this video is going to a few organizations I trust, ones that have been exposing the truth for decades. You know who you are. It's your job to continue.
The chat is saying this is AI.
I'm not buying it. I think it's AI.
Ooh.
It sounds like AI, doesn't it?
I don't know. I just thought she has really good diction. Oh, Grok says it's AI.
Yeah, I hadn't actually watched that clip yet, but hearing it just now, it's no, I'm not buying it. It's too good. The audio is too clean. Also,
Yeah.
why wouldn't she do a video if she's doing this?
Right. Why wouldn't she just have her face on there?
Also, she
Boo.
was like she was one of the, open victims of Epstein. Like, I don't know, she didn't really have a reason to not.
She was very
tell
out
everybody.
there.
Yeah. It seems weird that she would have a dead man switch when she, could have released stuff at any point.
Yeah. Well, so much for that. I don't want to give up on the Epstein list, but I don't know. There was something kind of circulating a few years ago, so I wonder if it's just closer to that. It's like the names that we've all been reading for years.
Yeah, I mean, I think we basically know who all was involved. The interesting thing about the Epstein documents is the actual blackmail material, or the hard drives and camera gear that they grab. So it's not so much the list of people as the evidence of their crimes.
Oof. Right, which the FBI seized years ago.
And then lost, apparently, or I don't know. Apparently it was delivered to Pam Bondi, but then it wasn't.
Yeah. We just misplaced it. I don't know. Yeah, we set a bunch of clothes aside to donate, and maybe that got mixed up in them. And
It's the Epstein list is sitting on a Goodwill shelf somewhere.
They got mixed up in the attic with winter clothes and summer clothes. I don't know.
I'll get it eventually. I will find it eventually. I mean, that stuff is so crazy, especially like the Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, that we have these guys who are like hardcore, like right-wing podcasters, and just like every day they're like, we're going to go in, we're going to bust it down. And then they get appointed. And the next time you see them, they're just like, Epstein killed himself, and there is no list.
What's that about? What?
It's crazy, dude. I don't know if it's brainwashing or just like threats. I don't know.
Threats.
It's creepy.
It has to be
It's
threats.
creepy.
What else would it be if not a threat on their lives and their families' lives?
Yeah, I mean, they can always blow it out of proportion and go, look, the guys on this list, if it were to come out, they're going to crash the stock market. They're going to crash the entire whatever, and then millions of people are going to die. So is that really worth it? Do you really want to cause millions of people to die? I mean, there are ways to pressure them that I think would be effective. And one of the hard parts about conspiracy theories nowadays is it's hard to tell who's lying to who. It's hard to tell, like, okay, does that guy really believe what he's saying, and has he been lied to, or is he the one lying to me?
There's
Somebody's
layers,
lying.
and you have to think about what everyone's motivation is. And God, do we still trust him? Has he been put in a horrible position? Are there other clues we can figure this out?
Yeah, it's a very interesting time to be a professional conspiracy theorist, because everything is basically just out in the open at this point. They just sort of admit what they're doing and just do it anyway. And it's weird. I always say it's like I do a true crime podcast, but I'm reporting on one serial killer, and we know his name, and we know his MO, and we know, everything about him, but he still just keeps killing people. And I have to go to a podcast where I go, Larry did it again. He killed another one, here's him bragging about it. Like, it's weird. I literally report on like crimes against humanity on a daily basis that we have more, infinite evidence for. It's cut and dry, and just nothing ever happens. It just, it never goes to trial. We're constantly in the evidence gathering phase, and justice never is reached. It's incredibly frustrating.
You're thinking like when it comes to Fauci, or when it comes to really anybody in the last administration?
Yeah, the Russian collusion, anybody in the Biden administration, the Ukrainian, corruption that's going on. there's a lot of stuff that we have a lot of evidence for people doing very, very illegal things, and just nothing happens to them. It's weird.
Because they're just too important, or they've just compromised, like they're in a position to compromise people around them.
You know, it's got to be a mixture. It's got to be a mixture of all those things. I mean, it's you know, if you do services for the mafia protects you, and I think that's pretty much how it works.
What's your process for, I guess, researching a conspiracy theory now?
Just report what the people themselves are saying. Basically.
Yeah, just open Twitter.
Yeah, you know, if the official story is that we're going after Iran's nuclear sites, all you have to do is turn on Lindsey Graham and hear him go, we are going to save Israel by overthrowing and having regime change in Iran. And it's like, there you go. You don't even have to listen to me speculate. There it is. It's right out in the open for everybody to see.
Is it basically that we are using Israel to take out Iran? Like that like they're our enemy, but we're not doing it directly.
No, I think Israel is fully in command of this whole operation. I mean, basically, they spent the last 21 months weakening all of Iran's proxies to the lowest point they've more or less ever been at. Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, they're not gone, they're not defeated, but they're like super, super weak. Syria, obviously, took a long time and finally fell. And so like they have this brief window of opportunity before Iran builds those proxies back up. And so they think they need to get it done now because they've, you know, sort of ruined their reputation across the globe over the last 2 years. And, you know, that was a gamble, right? Going after Gaza so brutally was sort of a gamble to go, okay, if we can do this and have this chain of events lead to Iran falling, then this will all be worth it. If Iran doesn't fall and it's still there as an enemy and it's still able to fund the proxies, then they will have just ruined their reputation and not, you know, achieved a tangible goal. So no, I think this is very, very simply Israel is feeling the ticking clock, feeling like they have an opportunity, and they're trying to seize that opportunity before it goes away. And so they're claiming it's about nuclear weapons, which would be extremely convenient.
I feel like we've been hearing that for a long time.
Yeah. And again, this is why it's crazy. It's like, am I really having to explain that we shouldn't go to the Middle East to fight a war over weapons of mass destruction? This is crazy. It is crazy that we're in the same situation.
Because there's no actual proof. I mean, do you want to see actual proof? I guess if you're seeing proof, then it's perhaps too late.
Well, you know, at least they had the courtesy to trick us last time. You know, at least last time when we went into Iraq, they had the respect for us to at least knock our buildings down first, right? At least give us something to sink our teeth into. Now they're just like, now we're just going to war for Israel in Iran, and no questions, please.
Do you think this is going to ruin Trump's legacy for his second term?
If he actually goes to war with Iran, yeah, I mean, I think it's already pretty bad. I mean, I think that would almost be the least of my concerns if that was the situation, because if he goes to war in Iran, obviously the protests are going to explode as they already are, and they're going to maximize, and they're going to be joined by people from the right. It's going to shatter the MAGA coalition. Obviously, it's going to take up probably the rest of his term. It's going to destroy the Republicans' chances in the midterms. So he'll have a Democrat Senate and Congress to worry about for the last 2 years of his. So, I mean, it's sort of like the end of America if this happens.
He must know this, though.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. That's the really shocking and bizarre thing. He has to know that. But, you know, he also came out and was like, Iran is trying to kill me. You know, this was months and months ago after one of the assassination attempts. He was like, Iran is trying to kill me. And if they kill me, then I'm ordering war with Iran. And it's like, dude, the deep state is trying to kill you, and they want war with Iran more than anything in the world. So you're literally basically telling the deep state, kill me and you can have everything that you want. You know, kill me and Trump will be gone, MAGA will go away, and you'll have the casus belli, you know, the cause of war, to go to war with Iran. So, you know, you think Trump knows all this stuff, but then he makes statements like that, and it's like, what the hell are you doing, dude? You are literally telling the deep state to kill you, and you're going to reward them for that. So I don't know what Trump knows. I don't know what he knows or what he doesn't know. But, you know, even if this was just high stakes negotiation, which it doesn't seem to be, it's still incredibly irresponsible because he's still putting our guys in harm's way. Iran could hit one of our, aircraft carriers with a missile, and thousands of Americans would die. So he's playing a very dangerous game of chicken, I guess. But I think the whole thing is just outrageous.
This just came out. He held a situation room meeting on the whole situation. Crisis meeting on Iran as 4 B-52 nuclear bombers prepare for launch. Prepares to make the biggest decision of his presidency, whether to engage the U.S. forces in Israel's war with Iran. The situation room gathering with top military and intelligence advisors lasted about 80 minutes, where there was no immediate statement from the president. Trump has already issued a chilling death threat to Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei, revealing the U.S. knows where he's hiding and that he's an easy target. Again, this could just be like a Trumpian thing to say. 4 US B-52 Stratofortress bombers, that's a made-up word, are now stationed in the Diego Garcia base in the Indian Ocean within striking distance of Iran. The B-52s, which carry nuclear weapons and other precision-guided bombs, were spotted on a runway at the Diego Garcia on Monday. And I've also been hearing that Israel is able to take out the Iranian missiles, not just over Israel, but like over Iran.
Yeah, over Syria. I mean, that's what Trump was bragging about today. I think Israel sort of misplayed this hand, or Iran sort of misplayed this hand, rather. I think they probably could have made something out of, the ensuing chaos of October 7th. And, I don't know. As soon as the attack by Israel on Iran started happening, I started getting this very disturbing feeling of like deja vu when it came to the Hezbollah pager attack, because it was one of these things that was just so unexpected. But Hezbollah is so powerful, and they're still pretty powerful. I mean, they have like 100,000 missiles, and so you expect like, oh man, now it's on, and then just like kind of nothing happens, and Israel just keeps bombing and just keeps eliminating people, and then it just sort of goes away. So I mean, Israel is very good at managing the crisis, and I guarantee you they're running incredibly complicated quantum AI simulations of everything before they try it. So I sort of, when they launch an attack on Iran, it's like, well, this seems very stupid, but typically they've been able to pull this sort of stuff off. So,
yeah, interesting. Trump made his way to the Ayatollah after abruptly ending G7 meetings in Canada to fly back to Washington. His sudden departure immediately raised the prospect of an expanded war between Israel and Iran and the potential for direct U.S. involvement. Trump even angrily brushed off suggestions from the gay French president Emmanuel Macron that he was returning to Washington to forge a peace deal between Israel and Iran. Hostilities erupted early Friday when Israel launched a massive preemptive strike on Iran, hitting nuclear and military facilities and killing top military brass and nuclear scientists. Trump posted on Truth Social, "We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He's an easy target." And then just some more. Oh boy. It's on the verge of destroying more than 10 nuclear targets in Iran. And there's a road. Just looks like a place, that's last on my vacation wish list. Although maybe Groupon is having a sale now.
The Iran vacation package.
Yeah.
I think they're opening up a sandals there. Yeah.
Living social Iran.
I had a friend went to Prop & Co., a friend of the show, I should say. He was a guest on our show, and he had just recently gone to Iran. And I mean, the way he was describing it, he was like, it's kind of just like America. Like, he was like, there were a bunch of goth people I saw, like, people wearing like black makeup, and, women walking around with their, hair uncovered, and everybody has a VPN. So they're all on, TikTok and Instagram and stuff. So, I don't know if it's as crazy of a place as most people think.
Yeah, it does seem crazy. It just seems like they're not up to date on stuff, or maybe that's just what we're made to believe. We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment, plenty of it, but doesn't compare to American-made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the old good old USA.
Good old USA. Doesn't it make you feel patriotic knowing that
It does.
it was hardworking American / Indian men that put together the bombs now being dropped on complete strangers for no discernible reason. It's a beautiful thing.
It is nerve-wracking. Makes me not want to go outside.
It's horrifying. It's completely horrifying.
Junior for 5, Ted Cruz just said on Tucker's podcast that America is attacking Iran. Well, okay.
Yeah, I saw that. He said America is bombing Iran tonight, and Trump is saying we have operational control over Iran's skies. I mean, it's very weird how apparently Israel and America are just the same organization. Yeah. It's a little weird that.
Okay, let me see if this is a direct. I don't know what Tucker Carlson is saying. Okay, is this something we want to play? Yes,
it's actually pretty good. Where they start yelling at each other. If it's
ooh,
I saw.
I love yelling.
The teaser clip from Tucker.
Do you have a response to Tucker Carlson criticizing you and saying you're complicit in the war?
So he's done really a very good job.
How did you respond to Tucker Carlson criticizing you, saying that you're complicit in the war?
I don't know what Tucker Carlson is saying. Let him go get a television network and say it so that people listen.
And quickly,
so he's done really a very good job.
Oh, he has these burns just ready to go.
I know, but it's like, get a television network? Like, what? What he needs is one of those newfangled AM radio stations to really get the word out. It's like, who watches television anymore?
Yeah, that's true. That is something a 70-year-old man would say.
Yeah, Tucker has way bigger of an audience on X than he ever had on Fox. I don't know, man. It's the interesting thing about this, I haven't seen anybody defending Trump and saying that we're not going to war. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody who is like defending Trump right now they're just all in for war with Iran. Like, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I see a lot of people going, trust Trump, like, trust Trump. You're a traitor.
Well, you wanna trust your president. You want to put your faith in them.
Yeah, it'd be nice, but it's like, but nobody's saying trust him. He's going to keep us out of war. They're going, trust Trump. He knows what he's doing. And we're going to war with Iran and we're going to kick their butts. Or it's people going, we should not go to war with Iran. This is ridiculous and outrageous. Why are we allowing?
Or if people are just resigned to it, like, well, we didn't want to be in war, but now that we're in war, we definitely want to win and make sure it doesn't get messy over here.
Yeah, and that has not worked out the last few times. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but actually every time we do this exact thing, it is horrible and a bad idea.
Oh, wait, it's this again. I just really want to play that clip of the children running in. Hold on. There's another clip of Trump. It is a nerve-wracking situation. Boop, 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 boop. Trump's response to a reporter regarding Iran.
But how close do you personally think that they were to getting one? Because Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran wasn't building a nuclear weapon.
I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having one.
But how close do you personally?
Yeah, so apparently the American DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, tried to sort of head off this whole operation by coming out in March and saying Iran is nowhere near a nuclear bomb. And Trump doesn't believe her, I guess. So he's getting his information from somewhere else, i.e. Israel. And again, it's just like, okay, what are the odds? What are the odds that Iran just now is so close to a nuclear bomb that it's an emergency situation? It's a crisis all of a sudden. It's just, they just so happened to get to this level of enrichment right when it's the most convenient time for Israel, right? Right when they really achieve great things, knocking out Iran's proxies. They take out Syria. They're gearing up, ready to go with Iran. And suddenly it's discovered that Iran is this close to a nuclear weapon. I mean, it's
a coincidence.
Yeah, exactly. It's a real big coincidence. It's completely ridiculous. Anybody talking about nukes in Iran is not talking about what is actually happening. It's just clearly a red herring.
I don't know the population at all. No, I don't know the population. You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple? How many people living around?
92 million.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How could you not know that?
Oh.
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant?
Nothing's better than like Tucker Carlson condescension, like smartly. Ugh.
It's brutal. I mean, it's,
I would just get up and walk out. I'd be like, sorry, I'll come back when I know the population.
I wish he didn't tell him. I wish he made Ted Cruz ask, or
Look
like
it up.
made him guess, because I bet his guess would have been way off. I would have
I
had
don't know.
I would have no
5
idea.
million?
If 5 million, 20 million, 150 million. I mean, I bet he had no idea. I bet he
Wow.
wouldn't have been within
Because
10 million.
90 million or 80 million or 100 million. Why
because
is that
if
relevant?
you don't know anything about the country,
I didn't say I don't know anything about
okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
Ah!
They are Persians.
I don't know, black, brown.
And
What percent?
predominantly Shia. Okay, this is
no,
cute.
it's not
Okay.
even. You don't know anything about Iran, so
Okay,
actually,
I know that they have rugs that are all over my house.
They make
I am not
great
the
drugs.
Tucker Carlson
No, but
expert on Iran.
you're a
who
senator
says-
who's calling
Okay,
for the
you're the one who
overthrow of the
claims-
government.
you're the
and
one
you
who
don't know
claims-
anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump.
No,
You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out
I'm
if it was a
saying
good
you
idea
don't
to kill
believe-
General Soleimani, and you
don't
said it was bad.
believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really
we are
believe that,
carrying out military strikes today.
you said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive
No,
capacity.
we're not
at all.
bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we.
Oh no! Oh my God, he got hot and he slipped.
Yeah, that was bad. That was you'll never see Trump making a mistake. Like you'll never see Trump caught up with a question like that. You know, Trump would have responded. He would have been like, there's a lot of people. It's a big country. There's a lot of people there. Can't get bogged down in the details,
They
Ted.
need a lot of people to make all those rugs.
We are supporting
This is high
Israel.
stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran
He
right
just tried to have his JD Vance moment where he looked right at the camera.
Dude.
now, people are listening.
Hey.
Wow.
Oopsie. Oh, Ted. He's going to have to take an antacid and chill.
He was using the royal we.
Yes, of course. I mean,
We are
like
bombing
we as
Iran.
the people. Oh, okay. So this is interesting. These are screenshots of newspapers from years ago where Israel is claiming Iran is months away from having a nuke. They want the U.S. to destroy itself based on lies. Here's the proof. Israel claimed in 95, 03, 2012, and 21 that Iran was 2 months away from having a nuclear weapon. Oh, and every time it was a lie. Here's January 5th, 95. Iran would be able to build an atomic bomb in 5 years. Iran closes in on ability to build a bomb. 2003. 2012, Iran on brink of nuclear. Wow. In 6-7 months. Gantz, Iran is 2 months away from a nuclear bomb. Oh, in 2021. Why did they do this?
Because Israel is their geopolitical enemy. They're the only regional power capable and willing to stand up to Israel. So they gotta pump up the fear, make it an emergency, make it, instill panic in your population so they stop thinking. I mean, they did the same thing after October 7th with the hostages, but we know now that they had plenty of opportunities to get the hostages back. There were, Hamas was trying to make deals, to negotiate for the hostage returns, and Israel didn't want to. They preferred to go into Gaza. So I think they care about Iran's nuclear weapons about as much as they care about the hostages. Because I don't know if you remember, at the end of 2023, it was like, we got to go in, we got to get the hostages, we got to go rescue them. There's no time to stop and think, right? It's like panic. This is an emergency crisis. You can't think, just do. But the whole thing is orchestrated and deliberate and false.
I feel like I've been hoodwinked. Derek C. for 5. Trump and family aren't going to stay in America post-collapse. They will retire to the Trump Tower built in what was once Gaza. Oh, yes, the new beachfront property.
Yeah, that's sick.
Ay.
That's pretty sick. I honestly cannot fathom what Trump is up to. maybe this has something to do with like the big beautiful bill he's trying to get passed,
Mm.
and you got senators going, "We're not going to pass your bill until you bomb Iran for us. Quick little bombing. We'll be in and out in no time. You'll be a hero."
I don't like this. And Harrison, I promised you a fun time. Okay, let's mix it up.
I have fun doing this. It's all very silly. It's all very, very silly.
Did you sleep train any of your kids? Do you know anyone who's done this thing where you leave your kid in a room by themselves and let them cry, and then they teach themselves how to fall asleep without you, and then eventually not trust you for the rest of their lives?
Yeah, I regret to say that my wife is too weak for that. She was too weak. She couldn't handle it. She could not handle the requisite, 15 minutes of crying. It hurt her. It hurt her soul too much to bear it. So we tried a little to sleep train, but it's been an abject failure. If you want to know the truth, it's been not easy at all. So I suggest you do it. I suggest you sleep train. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good thing.
He's 14 months. I feel like he's too old for that now. I feel like we're just going to have him sleep in our bed till he's 30, and then we'll figure it out.
Kids here's the great thing about kids. They don't know what's normal and what's not. They don't have any idea how things are supposed to go at all. So they just assume whatever's happening is what's supposed to happen. So like my son, he wants somebody laying in his bed every single night to go to sleep, because that's what we did when he was a baby. For our daughter, we already had a son. So, sucks being the second kid, but we'd give her a bottle, put her in the crib and leave her. So she just falls asleep.
Because knew, right. She'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, and she just goes, okay, this is how bedtime works. And for my son, he's like, no, bedtime is you laying with me. So it's like impossible to change the habits once they're ingrained. But I suggest you do it. I think sleep training is very useful.
Oh, I don't know.
It's okay. They're fine. They just cry a little bit.
I think I'm going to get one of these floor beds where you can like sneak in with them and then sneak out.
Yeah, that's not bad either. I don't know. I mean, all I know is that it's cliche when like you're having a kid. People are like, well, get all the sleep you can now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Everyone
it's so
kept
true.
saying that. It is true. But then you need less sleep. I find like I'm the lightest sleeper in the world now. Like
yeah,
blinking will wake me up, and then
that is the amazing
5-6
thing.
hours.
Yeah, you just do it because you just have to. Like shit that I would have never done in the past. It's like you just got to do it. You just got to get up and do it. And if you don't, nobody will, and then your kid will not survive. So you just have to do it. You just have to do the thing. Sleep less, work more, and
it comes naturally to you. And like having a kid will turn you into a morning person easily.
That still hasn't happened. I host a morning show, and I've done it for 5 years. I'm still not a morning person. I still stay up till like 3 a.m. every weekend because I love it so much.
But like, when do your kids get up in the morning?
Oh, like 5.
Yeah.
Super early.
So if you're like getting up with them, then you're like, well, I guess I'm up now.
Yeah, but I don't know. I can never fall asleep. I'm a big insomniac, but I do have to get up. I do have to get up to do my show every day, which is worth it, which is very fun. What is
the, I want to know, what do you think is the most like misunderstood thing about you that the internet gets wrong, or that people that talk about you get wrong?
That's a good question.
Like your internet search history.
Well, some people think I'm overly into anime, and that I'm into
by all the swords.
Well, I'll have you notice that only 2 of them are samurai swords. The rest
doesn't matter. They all look like
historical.
They all register as swords.
European swords. It's not a
even
Japanese.
Even the letter opener on the bottom still.
that actually is a bayonet that my wife's grandfather carried into battle.
Okay, that's actually really cool. The rest
all my swords are cool, Chrissy. This is what people don't understand about me.
Just that one is cool.
All of my hobbies are cool. But you're right. I'm not going to explain the other ones to you because they are not as cool.
Explain the other ones. Did you get them at like cons?
Well, this one here.
Yeah, sword chat with Harrison.
All right, this is my dystopian hellscape sword, and it's held together by tape. This
Could
actually,
you use any of these in an emergency?
I might, if the situation calls for it. But this one actually, we had a funny situation when my wife was in college. She was moving into a new house with like 5. It was a huge house, and she had 5 roommates, and it was moving in day, and we had U-Hauls, and we pull up to the house, and there were just still people living in it. And so we like knock on the door. We're like, we're supposed to be moving in, and they're like, but we don't have anywhere to go. And we're like, well, too
People
bad.
are moving into your house.
Get out, yeah. And so anyway, they left this behind. So that's how I got this one.
Oh, cool. Okay.
This was my prize.
Okay, what about the red one?
The red one is actually a legendary sword. This is a very nerdy thing. This is why I wasn't going to explain it to you. But that one was the favorite sword of Oda Nobunaga, who was a Japanese shogun. It's a reproduction that I got in Tokyo, and it has a whole history about how the guy Oda Nobunaga got mad at his servant, and the servant ran away from him and hid in a closet, and then he used the sword to slice through the closet and the servant all at once.
Cool.
And that made him realize what a great sword it was. So then it was his favorite sword.
Oh, such dishonor. Okay.
Like chopping a cabinet in half and just like blood everywhere, and the guy like, this thing cuts really well. I didn't realize.
Wow.
What a good one.
I've just been using this to make sandwiches.
Yeah. And then he learned.
What about the one up from that?
The one up from that is a rapier, and that was because
Rapier? I barely knew her.
I should have known that one. Solomon, I want to do a short film of Solomon Kane, if you've ever heard of him.
Any relation to Citizen?
No. He's a character, the same guy who did Conan the Barbarian.
Okay.
Did a guy named Solomon Kane. He's a Puritan in the 1600s who fights witches and demons and things. So that's his sword.
Okay, cool. He just gave it to you.
Yeah. Me and him, we're pretty tight.
Okay, what about the one up from that? That also looks like an envelope opener.
The one up from that is another family heirloom of my wife's, and I don't exactly remember what it's from, but it might be my favorite one. That one's really cool.
That is pretty cool. I didn't get any swords from my mom and dad.
They're keeping them from you. They had them. They all had them. No, but I don't know. I like I said, like my Twitter account, I got no enemies. I got no secrets. I'm pretty upfront, and I think people. I don't know. I don't know if people get what I'm about or don't. Half the time, I make posts and people just interpret what I'm saying the complete opposite of what I meant. And I guess that's just what you do when you're, out in public saying things. People just interpret it however they want. So, yeah, I would love to see what people think of me, like what I would think of me if I wasn't me. I have no idea the face I present to public, how people interpret it or see it or who they think I am. It's not really who I am, I don't think.
This is a great sketch. I'm just going to play a snippet.
Good news. Oh, yeah? Yeah, we've rolled back the ban on gain-of-function research. Really? So now it's legal for us to modify viruses and make them more deadly and transmissible to humans.
Oh, whoops,
Why
I
would
forgot
you
to say,
want
this
do
is
that?
the
Well, it's
COVID
important that
pitch
we be
meeting.
prepared in case something like that happened in the future. In case somebody modifies a deadly virus to be more infectious and able to transmit to humans. Oh, can you imagine? Yeah, sounds dangerous. No, it's fine. We're doing it at a level 4 weapons research lab in Wuhan, China. Very secure. Okay, good. Terrible news. Oh no, there's been an outbreak of a mysterious new respiratory virus in Wuhan, China. Wuhan, China, like where the research lab is? Yeah, exactly, like right where the lab is. So do you think it could have come from the lab? But no, absolutely not. No. I'd see how you could make that mistake, but no. The virus, the deadly virus with the artificial furin cleavage sites that make it able to infect humans, that came from the farmer's market down the road from the dangerous bioweapons lab. And you expect us to believe that? I'll ban you from the internet if you don't. No need to worry. The global medical establishment's always preparing for these types of things. In fact, like 2 months ago, they held a course called Event 201 where they basically predicted exactly what would happen, right down to the type of virus and where it came from. So they're like totally on top of this. Actually, they're going to do nothing for months and let it spread all over the world. But it started in China, right? Like, can't we at least halt travel with them? I didn't realize you were a racist. What? Yeah, I didn't realize you had some deep, seething hatred of Asian people. And in fact, I think it's despicable. Whoa, I'm talking about the virus. Oh, the virus? It's here now. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it came on a plane from China. There's nothing we could do. Well, what do we know about the virus so far? Not a lot, but we're going to go ahead and assume that it's the deadliest thing in the world and everybody's scared. We're all scared. You didn't seem very worried about it when it was in China. Well, no, I was calling you a racist then. That's what was important. But now we're very scared of the virus. Everybody's scared. You're scared. Well, does it affect certain ages or populations or groups, anything like that? Yeah, actually, it's way deadlier to the elderly and the sick. Okay, well, why don't we start by protecting them? No, we're actually going to send COVID-infected patients into nursing homes instead. Geez, well, okay, well, what are you doing to stop the spread? UV lights, vitamin C, vitamin D, should I wear a mask? We know that masks don't really stop you from getting this type of infection. The science is pretty much settled on this. Masks don't work. Okay, so no masks. Actually, they're mandatory. And also, we're shutting down everything. Wait, what? Yeah, it's called lockdown. I'm basically starting martial law and saying that you can't leave your house or gather in large groups. How do you think you're going to get people to go along with this? Well, it's only for 2 weeks. It's going to last forever, isn't it? Maybe. And you're shutting everything down? Everything? Every restaurant, every store? Yep, absolutely everything. Everything's shut down. We're all in this together. So like even like Walmart and Target? No, they can stay open. What about like McDonald's or Taco Bell? Obviously, McDonald's and Taco Bell can stay open. Okay, so the big chain stores can stay open, but if a small business tries to stay open, we will send a tank and point a rifle in their face and maybe send them to jail. But it's only for 2 weeks or years or whatever. I mean, would it crash the economy? Oh yeah, 100% for sure. Okay, but this stops the virus. It does not, no. Okay, other than masks that don't work and lockdowns that don't work, is there anything else you suggest that we do? Oh, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm imposing plastic barriers and social distancing as well. Okay, so those work. No, of course not. It's ridiculous. Just think about it. But we do encourage contact tracing where you download our app to your phone and then use it to log everywhere you go and everything you do and everyone you interact with. It sounds like a precursor to vaccine passports. No way. That's crazy.
God, I remember when I got COVID, it was so scary. Like I went to an urgent care and it was not having it. I basically had tea with honey. Right. It was gone. And I got it from Savannah Hernandez when I was in Texas. Couldn't have asked to get it from a better person. And then I happily gave it to the whole family. Thanks. You're welcome to the antibodies, everybody. But I got the scary paperwork from the urgent care. And I was like, ooh. They were like, don't go anywhere.
Did you lose your smell, your sense of smell?
I did a little bit, yeah.
That was the craziest part for me. I lost my sense of smell for like 3 months.
I remember just picking up the dogs, like going, like, oh, I couldn't smell them.
Yeah, it's weird. And like you can't taste anything. It's like,
yeah,
I'm looking at a juicy steak, but I'm not hungry because I can't smell it. I can't it was weird.
Every candle in the house. And I was like, maybe they're all just really faint.
Yeah, that was freaky. So that's why I have a lot of people call in and are just like, you're still pushing the COVID lie. There's no disease. And I'm just like, I don't know. Something made me not able to smell things for 3 months. So that seems like a disease to me.
Yeah, that's significant.
Yeah, it was a long time. But yeah, and that was sort of right when my son was born. And like, I definitely had that moment of panic when you like have a fever and you're like, hallucinating in bed. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to die. Like he's going to get COVID and he's going to die. And it's going to be my fault because I didn't get the vaccine. And it's like, you're like freaking out. Like, oh my
right. Because you don't know because it's the beginning.
Yeah. And it's
on the plus side, you could be like, I didn't smell the dirty diapers. How would I know to change them?
Exactly. Yeah. Always looking on the bright side.
The way we sent a investigative team to figure out the origins of the virus. Oh, so you're investigating the lab? No. Okay. Well, who are you sending to investigate? The guy who runs the lab. Yeah, this sounds suspicious. It's not. I mean, the whole thing sounds sketchy. Nothing you're saying really makes any sense. And it seems like the same people imposing the masks and lockdowns are the same people that are benefiting from it. And it seems like it's going to have way worse long-term effects than the virus itself. I mean, all of this seems arbitrary and expensive. Well, it's only until we get the vaccine. And actually, it's going to be a wonderful, revolutionary new mRNA vaccine. So, thank God we have Bill Gates helping us with this. Bill Gates, isn't he the one who thinks the most pressing issue the Earth faces is overpopulation, and that the best way to reduce population is through vaccines? Didn't he give a TED Talk to that effect? No, shut up. He loves you.
Amazing. So funny.
See, it is the easiest skit in the world to write. I literally just wrote down what actually happened.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to come up with anything.
Oh, from Sam. Ask Harrison what sword to get Frank for Father's Day. Yeah, turns out I'm a bad gift giver. I gave my husband a digital meat thermometer for his birthday, and it had the same effect that like when women get a vacuum for their birthday. So I returned it promptly to Amazon, and now I just
get him a sword.
I need better ideas, I guess. He's not a sword guy though.
But I bet if the meat thermometer looked like a sword, he would have loved it. Yeah, stab a sword into the ham. That's what you need. That's a moneymaker right there.
And then he said to me, honey, you're my meat thermometer.
You got a real true romantic on your hands.
Okay. I want you to respond to this person. I don't get the Fauci hate. He wasn't a policymaker. If you ask a virologist how to stop a virus, what do you expect them to say? But he knew things didn't work, but still pushed them.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it was Deborah Birx that was mainly the one pushing it. You got to read RFK Jr.'s book, The Real Anthony Fauci. That one is like mind blowing. I mean, it'll make you think it's hopeless because of how entrenched the corruption is. But I mean, he lays out the timeline from the late 80s of Fauci just being one of the most corrupt people in existence.
The Beagle story alone.
Oh my God. Well, that one's terrible. Well, and he is the one that has presided over basically American healthcare being, controlled by pharmaceutical companies. I mean, it's Anthony Fauci that set up the funding pipeline, the approval pipeline to massively benefit the pharmaceutical companies and basically give them like total carte blanche protection. Like all that stuff was all Anthony Fauci. I mean, he was in charge since like the 80s, and he has presided over the greatest, collapse of general healthcare the world has ever seen. So he's got a lot he could be charged with, in my opinion.
He gave us AIDS. He gave us monkeypox. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna talk about something light now and fun. Did you know this, Harrison? How being a financially dependent stay-at-home girlfriend will ruin your life. I always like to see what the feminists of today are up to. Many young women on social media are touting the benefits of being a SAG, but they seem unaware that they could be left with nothing after a breakup. Oh boy. Many young women on social media are touting the benefits of being a SAG or a stay-at-home girlfriend.
If you're a stay-at-home girlfriend, you're a whore. That's what you are.
Yeah, I don't know that is sustainable. Gen Z and millennials on TikTok are wildly praising the alleged benefits of being a stay-at-home girlfriend, talking about how they're able to embrace softer. Yeah, you're an escort, kind of.
Yeah.
No,
you're a whore.
Right? Yeah, embrace softer, more feminine lives. Oh my God, this is like something I feel like I would hear Brittany Venti talking about. Than their corporate counterparts. Instead of racing to 9-to-5s in office attire, they wear expensive aloe sets. I guess that's yoga sets. While taking $50 Pilates classes midday. While it might seem like an enviable lifestyle, the reality is much bleaker. On TikTok, there are thousands of videos with millions of views that show off what being a SAG is really like, with women talking about how they quit their jobs for the opportunity to go on lavish vacations with their wealthy beaus. Yeah, this is like just being a sugar baby, right?
Yeah,
one content creator using the popular SAG hashtag claimed that men treat you better when you're unemployed. Is that true, men? These creators are quick to show off a day in the life as a stay-at-home girlfriend, which could consist of making their boyfriend his favorite meal or simply stopping by Starbucks to indulge in a midday latte while lounging. While some comments praise their lifestyle, others are quick to call them out and point that post-breakup they'll no longer be financially stable and they'll suddenly have a major gap in their work experience. Some creators are now speaking up what they went through post-breakup, like Miami-based Bella Greenlee, who makes videos as Sizzy Sizzle. She convinced her 386K followers that she was living a dream life, but now believes that resentment starts to grow if a man is paying for everything.
Is that really the issue?
This is just missing the point. Like, I think it's great to stay at home with your kids, Well, yeah, that's the thing. This is the model of being a wife without kids, basically, without marriage and without kids. So there's no incentive to actually stay with you.
Yeah, and you're not actually I don't know if you're gonna be. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. You're missing out on the benefits of being married. You're basically just a live-in whore nanny, essentially. But you're not even getting paid. But you're not even getting. You're actually kind of like a slave. He's giving you food and shelter in return for domestic labor, right?
Until the next girlfriend. Like
Until the next girlfriend.
You're a girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't know if people realize this. Humanity went through like thousands of years of like perfecting the way that society is supposed to be run. Like we don't actually need novel new concepts of like relationships. None of them are as good as what we already established.
What if we had multiple polycule? What if you'd never get constant novelty? You could have all the girlfriends. How exciting.
Yeah, it's disgusting and a complete waste of time. Stay-at-home girlfriend. I mean, yeah, like I said, that literally just makes me think you're a whore and a nanny, but you aren't even getting paid by the hour. That's
and
really
like
pathetic.
They don't even mention kids. So this is just you don't want to work. But if you don't want to work, your best pathway forward is being a trad wife. But
Yeah,
if you don't want to work and you don't want kids, that's what's difficult. And that's what these women are. I feel like they just simply don't want to work, and that's all. Like they don't want to work at being a mom or wife. They just don't want to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that sounds nice. I guess I don't know. I don't. People are fucked up, man. They're all gonna regret it when they're old. It's very sad to see them think that they're. And they also sort of like try to reinvent tradition as if they're the ones that came up with it.
Right. Like, hey, get this, guys. Okay, I just want to watch this just to see how cringe it is.
Home girlfriend for 3 years. It's not the life you want. And when I say stay at home wife, mom, girlfriend, whatever, I mean you are relying solely on your partner's income. But I saw a quote a long time ago, and I wish I listened to it. If you give a man the power to feed you, he also has the power to starve you. But when I tell you there was no amount of
this is like anti-marriage propaganda.
That totally is. Yeah. Conflating stay-at-home girlfriend, whatever that means, with being a wife, it's just completely dishonest.
Nothing truly made me happy. And honestly, I convinced all of you that I was living the life. I feel like that's what a lot of women do. They try to convince themselves and everybody else that they're enjoying their life of not having anything for themselves. I was showing you guys this nice apartment.
What? Not having anything for themselves. It sounds like you literally have everything. You have a completely selfish lifestyle. You have all the money and time to do whatever the hell you want, buy whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of get what she's saying. I mean, it none of it's hers. I mean, the guy at any point can just be like, "All right, I'm done with you. Get out." And she's probably spent 3 years like treating this stuff as if it's her own, but it's not hers. She has no legal, right to it. She got screwed over.
If you want that, you should be dating only to marry and marry somebody who does not believe in divorce. That's what you should be doing if you are like this person.
Or like let your boyfriend pay for everything, but still work and just save the money or something like that.
Oh boy.
And I was going crazy every single day. And there is a lawyer on TikTok. She said the divorce rate with stay-at-home moms and wives is very, very high. It's kind of the same story every time.
I don't believe that.
Filing for divorce. The man says, you don't have to work, just stay with me. All you got to do is take care of the family. To a lot of you guys, that would be music to your ears. If he is paying for your whole life and you don't have any income at all, there will start to be a resentment. I'm just glad I was young.
How could you go? I mean, it's weird because now I'm kind of both. Like, I do stay home. Like, the baby's not in daycare. So I'm his main caretaker. But I also earn a living. I never have to like hit up my husband like, can I have money for things I need? So I feel like I'm exactly both. But wouldn't you want to have a side hustle? Like, wouldn't you want to not have to?
Yeah, I mean, again, she's she's like stay-at-home mom, marriages end in divorce. Like a divorce is very different than a breakup. And a girlfriend is very different than a wife. And these things are not the same at all. You should have a feeling of like uneasiness, not resentment, but like, yeah, if you're just, living off this guy who's made no commitment to you and could drop you at any point, I could see why you'd feel, a little bit.
Of course, you're going to be anxious
about that. Yeah. Of course, because it's a terrible decision. You're doing a bad thing that's bad for your future.
Any kids, I was not married. I was able to start my life before I wasted more years just staying in the house. Being in a relationship where you will have nothing when you leave, or if this person ever leaves, that's not going to feel good, And also,
this also sounds like the type of woman, if she were to get married and divorced, they would be like, I need to take a whole lot of dollars from you when I go.
Yeah, again, being a girlfriend is completely different than being a wife. Is this what she's figuring
sour
out?
grapes.
Something else I didn't like about having my life completely funded, you kind of have to let them do whatever they want. To like go about things differently and tolerate a lot of BS because your life is on the line. And as delusional as I was, I knew that I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Once you add kids into the equation, you're probably never going to leave. Because once you pop out that kid, that's when you really, really sign a death contract. Like, you can't go back now.
Oh, she sucks.
If you leave, not only
Damn, this literally is like antenatal propaganda. That's wild.
Wow. This is somebody who's dumb and like, well, I don't know if she's in her 20s, but she sounds like she has the maturity of somebody in their 20s who's just really afraid of, and you can't live your life that way. Because like guys are afraid of getting into relationships too. I spent years being really, really afraid of marriage because you're just like, you think that you're going to turn into your parents. I had the same fear, like, well, I need to be able to, if I'm left with nothing, pick up and start over. If I have a kid, I have to be able to pay for everything. Because what if everything goes wrong? And it's just, that's not reality.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even understand why you'd want to be. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. A stay-at-home girl, like the only reason to stay at home is because you have kids. Well, what do you do all day at home? That's not the right word. You're just a dependent. Is what she is. She's not a stay-at-home girlfriend.
Anybody who's an actual stay-at-home mom knows you're not just sitting there like you're a teacher, you're a chef, you're a gardener, you're a maid, you wear 10 different hats.
And there's a reason for you being there, not just because you want to. I don't know. That's again,
it's just not somewhere to just hang and charge your phone.
Yeah, right. And like she's taking the experience of being basically a full-time sugar, person. I don't even know what the term is. Sugar slave, whatever that is. And then she's like, so I know what marriage is like. It's like, no, it's completely different. Even just psychologically, like, especially when you have a kid, I don't know. I guess everything's so messed up now. It was nicer when like divorce just didn't exist and it just wasn't something that you could even think about.
Yeah, it was nicer. I think people that get married, I don't think divorce should be an option. I think then don't bother getting married.
It seems pretty straightforward to me.
It should just not be on the table. Like if you think it's an option, oh well, it's 50%, then just date.
Yeah, that's
because if divorce isn't an option, it's going to be really important that you work out your problems, that you manage conflict, that you settle stuff, that you figure out how to live with each other, that you meet each other's needs.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely better for the kid. Like that's what, I don't know if my son even knows what divorce is at this point. And like, I just think about how crazy that is to like tell a kid like, yeah, maybe mommy and daddy are going to leave, or like daddy's going to leave and I'll see you once a week, for the rest of your life. It's like, what a horrible thing to put a kid through, man. I can't.
I mean, those things can happen, and sometimes it's maybe one parent's fault more so than the other. Like sometimes that stuff happens despite your best efforts, and it's sad. It's sad, like the whole system. But I don't know how I got on this. Oh yes, the TikTok, the stay-at-home girlfriend.
Yeah, that's a contradiction in terms. There is no such thing. I just think we figured it out. I think traditionally, like everything, they just got everything right. Like scientifically, it's just proven. Like if you want to have the best chance of having like a successful, prosperous, happy kid, they need to be raised with both of their parents, and they need to be the birth parents, and they need to be around them all the time. And like that's just the way you have the best chance at life. We don't need to be messing around with any of this. We figured it out. Actually, we figured it out. And it was going great. Now we've got polycules and stay-at-home girlfriends and AI girlfriends, and everything's falling apart.
Oh, and the sex robots are on their way, Harrison. They're coming.
That's an
extra feature you got to pay for.
Yeah, that's a DLC. You got to download that.
Yeah.
That's the sad. You know that's going to happen, right? You know how cars now, it's like your car has heated seats, but you have to pay $15 a month for them to work. That's what's going to be like with the You're gonna have to you can pay to win an argument with your robot girlfriend.
Oh, that's funny, actually.
Everything's fucked.
I wouldn't mind having a sugar mommy. I'm not gonna hate. Well, yeah, it would take. It would take the pressure off a little bit. All right, I'm all over the place. Final thoughts, Harrison.
Final thoughts. Well, I don't know what the hell is going to happen with Israel and Iran, but I sure hope that we don't kill another million people and spend another $12 trillion and ruin Trump's legacy and then get the Democrats in. I feel like we're in a way teetering on the brink of total disaster. I really hope we don't push ourselves over. But at the same time, I see a lot of opportunity for unity as a nation, because I think we can all agree that our young men shouldn't be dying overseas for some, hostile foreigners.
Maybe Trump has a magical plan.
Are you trusting the plan, Chrissy? Is that what's going on?
No, I'm trying not to be black-pilled.
Yeah, me too. It's very difficult. But I guess that's that. I think, I don't know. It's definitely not something to get bogged down in. And, there's a quote from like Napoleon or somebody he's like, morale is 9/10 of war, something like that. So, you really got to think about it strategically and go, man, if I'm just wallowing, or if I'm just depressed, or if I'm letting these assholes piss me off and ruin my day, then they're winning. And like you honestly, you got to keep the morale up, and you'll actually win. You'll actually succeed. It's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think everything's hopeless, then it is. But if you think that there's hope, then you can actually make a change. So I try every morning to cover this horrible cascade of nonsense that we have to deal with on a daily basis. But just try to remember that like we're actually doing all right. We're actually doing pretty good, all things considered. And humanity is extremely robust, and it takes a hell of a lot to bring us down. So, nothing's as big of a deal as we think it is. And people since Jesus's time thought that they were experiencing the end of the world. So
true.
Don't think that you're special. Literally billions of people have thought the same thing, and they're all dead, and we're still here. So just, always try to look on the bright side of life.
True. And you know what? You can always buy another sword if you get bummed out.
Or use your sword to kill somebody else and take their sword. Swords are extremely useful tools.
In Minecraft. Yes.
Yes. In Minecraft. I meant in like a standard duel, maybe on a mountaintop.
Oh,
but
fun.
Yeah, nothing illegal. Purely voluntary.
I'm definitely going to get my husband a sword now.
You should.
That's fun. Harrison, what's coming up for you? Where can people follow you and watch your show and see your skits?
You can I do a show each and every weekday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time on infowars.com/show and band.video. And we stream on X. You can follow me at Harrison H. Smith. I also occasionally do a show called Moonbase, but I haven't done that in a while, and people always bother me about it. So stay tuned for that too. But yeah, at Harrison H. Smith and band.video and American Journal. And
what's Moonbase about?
Well, when InfoWars was like about to be shut down, I made Moonbase as my, lifeboat, basically.
That was such a scary time.
Yeah, and now it's just exhausting. It's just I just want them to do it one way or the other, either shut us down or let us go. But it's been like a year of just like constant court battles. It's very exhausting. But luckily we're still here, and that's thanks to the InfoWars audience. So if you want to support me and us, go to thealexjonesstore.com/Harrison.
Get that male vitality.
Get this
and think of Harrison when you take it.
Yeah, get the Shilajit. Get the Irish sea moss gummies. Have you ever tried Irish sea moss, Chrissy?
No.
You'd love it.
I feel like it would make my hair redder.
I feel like you would have a genetic predisposition to enjoing it.
I'd be like, oh, look, these gummies are so good. What's happening to my voice? I am a hard worker.
I just had a flashback. to the plague.
Why am I craving potatoes? I'm so hungry.
Seriously, actually, that is the story of Irish sea moss, is that like during the potato famine, the Irish people realized you could eat the sea moss, and it was like full of like all these insane nutrients. There's like, for some reason, it just disgorges out of the Irish Sea as this like incredibly nutritious superfood that you can get in gummy form at thealexjonesstore.com/Harrison.
I'm going to pick some up. That sounds good. I love gummies of all kinds, healthy, not healthy. Sam in the chat knows this. He's my gummy guy.
You got to get the healthy ones. Oh, I was going to bring out a bottle, but I actually finished mine already. That's how good they are.
He started from the bottle. Now he's here.
You damn tootin'.
Oh boy. This was fun. Harrison, you're just a delight and a joy.
Well, thank you. And I've had a lot of fun too. Let's do it again sometime.
Yes. Everyone.
And next time you're in Austin, you got to hit me up. Every once in a while, I click on Owen's show and you're in the studio and I'm like, well, what the hell? Nobody ever tells me anything.
Oh my
That's part
goodness.
About being on the morning show on InfoWars. Nobody tells me anything. So hit me up next time you're in Austin. We'll get together.
I will. I'll just do your show and then I'll be like, oh, sorry, Owen.
Yeah,
I'm busy.
that's right. Ghost him for once. See how he likes it.
Everyone follow Harrison right now. Watch him on InfoWars. Watch all of his shows. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.